I appreciate you being here. It's good to have come off homecoming with the victory there Saturday. Really proud of our guys. Like I mentioned afterwards, going back and watching the film, I thought they came out. I thought they gave really good effort. Had a real focus of trying to correct some of the issues that we've had. It was good to see some guys that rose up in moments, made plays. You were able to create a couple takeaways. You had some explosive plays offensively. It wasn't all clean. Some things that we definitely still get to improve upon. But I thought a lot of younger players really got a chance to go and. You saw the growth. You saw the ability. You saw them. You have to work through the sequence of a game. Some good, some bad, and I was just really pleased with how they responded throughout it. And it was a good game for us. And our guys gave us a little bit of a positive as we're heading into this week, which is an absolutely huge week for us. And it's the last game of the 24 season. It's the last opportunity that we have, and obviously it's against a opponent which is playing they're playing their best football of the year, and ultimately when it comes down to this game, every little bit matters, and all that we've done, all the work that's been invested, we've got to go be our best this week. I'm excited about being here at home. It's senior day. It's an opportunity to celebrate the careers of a lot of guys that have poured so much into this program. This one is an opportunity for us to go and finish the season on a positive note. Obviously I'm excited to see our guys go and compete with everything that they have. And they're got off to a great start there last night with our practice and our preparation, and there's definitely a continued sense of urgency for the improvement that's necessary as we got a huge game come Saturday night.
First question will be Brendan over on your left. After reevaluating film, I guess what did you see from Luke, and is it fair to assume that he'll remain the starter for this week?
Yeah, I was pleased with Luke. He's one of those guys that I was kind of referencing of, as the game went on, you saw him really kind of settle in, and I thought he did a good job of I say relaxing, but kind of letting the game come to him, in some regards, and to be able to have 3 touchdown passes, to me, made a lot of good decisions. Or some throws that he missed, some parts of different reads and progressions where I think he's going to continue to even become that much more efficient, with around it. But I thought he did a really nice job, and throughout the course of the game, my expectation is that probably be the same this week of giving him an opportunity to go out there and continue to get better. And I was pleased with Brock. I think we mentioned after the game, kind of as we got into that rhythm, and I thought Luke did a really nice job of creating the explosives, sustaining some drives, had some big plays throughout, and I was really pleased when Brock got the opportunity to go in. Led us on a touchdown drive. Made some really good decisions. Was on rhythm on time. With his throws, and it was an impressive drive for him. So I was proud of him for that, being prepared, being ready when his number was called, and so I know those guys will continue to work as we go through this week, but. Expectation is that Luke will be starting, and obviously we'll go and throw everything we have into it.
Wanted to get your thoughts on DJ Legway, what he's done for Florida, and what stands out about his game.
Yeah, I think you see him as he's progressed throughout the year. He's playing with more confidence. As the year has gone on, he's made. Some big strides throughout the course of the year. He's definitely a player that you got an impressive arm talent. Could throw the ball all across the field. Has done a good job of extending plays. When things break down, or if he needs to be able to move, he keeps his eyes down the field, and definitely can hurt you. If you don't stick in your coverage, and then is obviously athletic enough to be able to make you pay with his legs as well. So I think. he's a he's a very talented young man, but it's also one that's been able to play with more confidence with each rep that he's gotten in the different situations that he's found himself in, and so he's playing his best ball of the year here at the end of it.
All right, next will be Liam, second row on your left.
Coach Roydell is on the depth chart. Do you expect him to be a full go 100% for this weekend?
I do. I mean, he's gonna, he's done a good job of being able to push, throughout the course of the last few weeks, and we'll see exactly how many plays he's going to be able to, get for us there come Saturday. But full expectation is for him to play, and he started, this last week. You saw the, the burst. You saw the, the balance. The things that you want to see from a back. Coming off of an injury, and excited to see him back in the lineup.
We'll go to Ira, second row on your right.
That was probably the first game all season where the offense went into halftime feeling decently about themselves. What was it like could you sense that? Any difference in terms of confidence, and how does that change managing the course of a game when there's things to build on as opposed to kind of treading water or struggling?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was plays in the first half that we still, some drives, some protection, some things that we wanted to be better at. But I was really pleased with how we ended the second quarter. Getting a couple of touchdown drives, and then it was, at halftime. I mean, there had been some positive, but it was still about let's clean up the issues that we've had. We knew we were going to get the ball there to start the second half. We wanted to kick it off the right way, and I thought our guys did a great job. First play going and having a long touchdown pass. That really was a big spark there. To how we wanted to start, and I thought the guys handled themselves. It wasn't we didn't go into the locker room celebrating at half, but we were thinking about still what were the areas that we need to get corrected, what do we need to improve upon, so that we could have the best second half that we possibly could. And I thought the guys had the right mindset and were able to come out in there and execute there early in the second half.
Stay over there for fourth.
Was there one or two specific plays that Luke had in that game where you're like, and you could feel free to go into detail if you want, but like where you're like, okay, he's starting to get it. That's a play, that's a check, that's a throw, that's a decision where it's starting to make sense to him a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of checks based off of looks that that I appreciated. You could tell the film study. You could see the confidence. It wasn't one of those things that he was looking over to us. I mean, he saw and understood what we needed to get into. I thought he was very aware of his protections of making sure that he heard the communication if it was something from the line, or that he was on point with kind of playing one step ahead, which for him is really as each week has gone by. He's grown in his confidence when it comes to that of understanding. I thought that he got better with his rhythm and timing throughout the course of that game. And I know I mentioned after the game on Saturday, but you look at the 3rd and 11, you'll play it at Jakai. I mean, that was a play to me that you're in a longer yardage situation. We kind of needed a spark in that moment, and to be able to go through a read, fit it in a good window, and just to be able to have that spark and that boost was big. And I thought he did just a really nice job of managing it. Really from that point on, I thought he managed the game really well. He was able to locate the ball where he needed to. He got some one-on-one throws, and he was decisive with that. But I thought there was a handful of those plays early where you felt him, to say take a deep breath, but he really did. I mean, he just, he was able to go out there. It was on rhythm, on time, execution, and then, it's just you build through that. And I think that's something that coming out of that game, it definitely is a confidence booster for him, because it's when you're a true freshman running out there for the first time as a starter. I mean, there's some nerves that go with that, and you want it to be a certain way, you want it to look a certain way, and ultimately we missed a few things early, just in different parts, but I thought he handled that well and just kept playing, and was able to get rolling and build some of that positive momentum.
Come back to Liam.
You mentioned it in your opening and after the game that you guys had already started, looking ahead to Florida. There's a lot of these guys in the roster who are getting their first experience in this rivalry game. What is the message to those guys, and what are you looking for out of them when they take the field on Saturday?
I mean, it's going to take every bit of energy, focus, passion, fight that you have in your body, for 60 minutes or however long that this game is called to go. I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be one of those games that, obviously it's a lifetime to remember, the results of this game. And, it takes every bit of your preparation, what you do throughout the course of the week, how much film are you studying, how much, how hard are you pushing in practice, what are the things that you're doing, whether it's in the training room, if you got to get your body right and prep for this one, what you're doing in the weight room, all parts of it. I mean, this is what college football is truly about, is when you have these games that, they don't like us, we don't like them. It's all part of it, and you go out there and you put your best foot forward, and you go fight for victory. And that's what our focus is. I mean, we want everything that we have to go, put our best effort out on that field, and I've got a lot of confidence in our guys and what's going to show up.
Coach, you kind of alluded this earlier, but with the seniors being that this is their last game and playing for FSU, what do you say is going to be like the message, or what are you going to tell those guys who've been with the program since the beginning?
I mean, let's go finish with everything that you have, all the work that's gone in. Man, go finish the right way and go put all that we have into it. I'm grateful for the work that those guys have poured in. I'm grateful for the impact that they've made. Some of these guys have been here 5-6 years, and they've seen the ups and the downs. And this is their last opportunity to play as a Florida State Seminole, and to be able to be at home, to play at Doak Campbell Stadium. I mean, it's really it is a special experience. It's one that a lot of these guys dreamed about it when they were growing up as little boys, and they've got to live out that dream. And what better way to go out? I mean, this would be a really special opportunity for them, and I mean, there's going to be emotion that's going to go into this game, regardless. But knowing that it's their last one, I mean, it's you got to go empty the tank this week, and you got to put everything that you have, into being your absolute best.
Go back to Ira on your right.
Florida's defense has played pretty well all season, but these last few weeks it seems like, particularly in certain situations, red zone, they've also created some turnovers. What do you see from them in those situations and challenges they present?
I mean, I think you see some changes just throughout their defense throughout the year. I think they've done some things to. You say simplify, but I mean, you're seeing the consistency and what they're being asked to do. Yes, they have their variations. They have the different different fronts, different pressures that they'll bring. Obviously how they mix and match coverages. But I mean, you see those guys, they're playing fast, and they're being very opportunistic around the ball. I mean, they've been able to create takeaways. They've had some big stops there in critical situations, whether it's fourth down stops. I mean, this last week I think they had two fourth down stops inside the 10-yard line. They've, like I said, forced multiple turnovers, and you see the confidence that they're playing with. And obviously they've been doing it for these last few weeks at a really high level, and so we know that we're going to get their best effort, and obviously it's going to take everything that we have to go and to be aggressive in our attack, and obviously to control the things that we can control.
Stay there for Corey.
How much progress, you said, last week your time was divided. You're trying to put together staff and devote to the players on this team. How much progress has been made in the staff building? That's part one. Part two is, I'm sure there's some guys you might be interested in that might only not play in conference championship games, but maybe coach in a playoff game. Would you wait until then to make a decision, to make an announcement, or would you make an announcement even before if you've hired someone, before they're done coaching that particular team?
Yeah, I mean, all things, evaluating all situations when it comes to that. And, there are guys that, probably are in a pretty good track to be playing in the playoff that I know have interest in opportunities here. And, obviously we're going through, all parts of it, just trying to find the right fit of, for our football program, for these players, for what we're trying to do, and build, immediately. And then, obviously for the next few years as we continue to bounce back from, where we are right now. And, I really like the progress that has been made. We'll kind of see, the timeline of how that, all shakes out here in the next week, next couple of weeks, and then anything progressing from there. I think all options are open. All things are being considered, and we'll make the best decision when we need to. Obviously, as it unfolds.
I don't know if in the history of this rivalry there's ever been both teams have started a true freshman at quarterback. Will Saturday speak to the trajectory of either program? And you talk about how important this game is, or is this game just about Saturday, or will it speak to a larger trend of where these teams can possibly be in the future?
I mean, for us, it's about Saturday. I mean, everything you do is about progression. It's about growth. You want to see that in what you're doing. But our focus right now is to everything that we have for this team, this group. I mean, we got a really good group of guys that are playing in their last game, and they put a lot into this program, and I want them to be able to finish it the right way, to finish it by playing their best football of their career here at Florida State. And then yes, we are playing a lot of young players, and these guys have a great opportunity in front of them for what they're going to do in helping elevate this program, and the next opportunity in front of us is this Saturday. And so my expectation is to see growth, improvement, and for us to go out there and play to the absolute best of our ability. And if we do that, I got a lot of confidence in what that'll be. And I'm definitely very confident for what the future holds. As we continue to progress and see these guys grow up, and obviously the new the new members that will join this program here moving forward. It's all things will be pushing upward as we finish up here this next week.
All right, we'll go to Matt on your right.
Even though he's not playing, Richie Leonard's a guy who transferred from Florida. Do you see him being a little bit extra motivating this week around or on the sidelines of practice or anything just because of that connection?
I think Richie's done a good job of trying to connect with our players. Is one thing. He's one of those guys that I've been really pleased with, even though while being unavailable, trying to be an inspiration, trying to be an impact for some of the younger guys, some of the guys that are still working their way through kind of their growth. And Richie's a guy that I think has a chance to be a great leader on this team. Obviously now, but then obviously this next year with having another year of eligibility with the red shirt. And so I don't know if that's gonna be any extra motivation for him or any of that, but I mean, it's he wants to see this team be successful. He wants to see his teammates go out there and be the best they can be, and he's going to do everything in his power to help prepare us to be that.
All right, we'll go to Bob, front row on your right.
Coach, a number of freshmen made their debuts against Charleston Southern. Looking at defense, D.D. Holmes, Ricky Knight, Jamori. Wonder if you can reflect on watching film. What did those guys on defense show you, and if you want to mention any guys on offense too?
Yeah, I thought it was good for those guys to be able to get some live work. Some guys that also, Charles and Kai both got a little bit more extensive work. Debo got some work there at D-tackle too. So I mean, it was a good game for us to see those guys get out there and to be able to have to go and execute, have to get the communication, to see them. In some instances, utilize the techniques and fundamentals, and then some guys, when you get out there and the speed of the game, the first time that you're out there on the field, just seeing the importance of the communication and being able to apply those techniques. But I was really proud of them for the performance that they were able to have, and just to be able to get out there and to go and play fast. I think that's a really good group of young guys, and excited about what they're going to do offensively. I mean, basically the entire game was a lot of young players that went out there and did some really good things. And I think I was really proud of Landon made a big catch over the middle in traffic, getting a chance to finish a play, even just seeing Hakeem Williams, he's still a true sophomore, battled with injury at the beginning of the year, but seeing him have a couple big catches was good. You saw Luane, you saw BJ, both those guys, Mekhi Danzy, with the big catch. I mean, that was all impressive. Amari Williams scoring another touchdown. I mean, as you're Cam Davis getting back in, I mean, it's you kind of go through and you got a laundry list of freshmen or redshirt freshmen, true sophomores that have had to step up and go make an impact, and that you you feel their confidence. You feel, some of the explosiveness and the ability that they have. And so, really excited about where that's going. And, for those guys to take that experience and go take another step here this week.
We've got time for two more. We'll go to Ira on your right.
Coach Shannon's had a big role in the defense since he's been here, but first time getting to hear him call a game and just the way he approached things. What were your
No, I thought he did a really good job, and obviously there was some changing and moving dynamics. For guys who were in the box, Randy was down on the field. I thought you did a great job of organizing, just the defense and the defensive staff. He cares so much for these players, and has done a great job of pouring into them. It was great just to see them go and play the way that they did. And I think Coach Shannon is. He's excited, for the opportunity that he's gotten these last few weeks. And obviously he's done it, for many years throughout his career. But just kind of putting his putting his signature on this group here these last couple games, and definitely appreciate the work that he and the defensive staff has all poured in to put our guys in a great position. And we're going to it's going to take a great effort here this week.
Last one will be Brendan here on your left. With the coordinator hires, what kind of say will they have in helping complete the staff, or have them put in bringing in coaches with them, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we'll evaluate all those things as we kind of get to it, and depending on what positions, things that of that nature, how it kind of all ties together. But I've always look for input from guys that are coordinators. Obviously you're there working on a side of a ball with a group, and to be able to have guys that are familiar, guys that might understand a little bit more of the terminology, language, some of the ins and out. Sometimes those guys are in the position role. Sometimes they're in analyst roles. So we'll evaluate all things as we continue to progress and identify who that right fit is for us.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a great one.
You too. Hey, Coach, can you go over defensive performance from Saturday? I guess what stood out to you as positives?
Positively, we kind of toughened up and stopped the run game, because that's a team that wanted to run the football and get some play action pass and try to create some big plays with number 3, the receiver, which is a big play receiver. So I think when we got him in a lot of negative situation plays, that helped us out on defense. I think that was a big factor in what we had to get done.
Coach, looking at Florida on film early on, what have you seen from them, especially a guy like DJ Lagway, and what kind of challenge does he present?
It's what they're doing up front, to be honest with you guys. They've coach, has done a great job of what they're doing. Is limited what they're trying to get done. They'll run team first. They're gonna try to pound the ball. They don't care if it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. They're trying to pound the football to create the 3rd and 3 to 5, so DJ don't have to do much. Now, would he launch it on 1st down and 10? He will launch it on 1st down and 10. But I think they're doing a great job of just simplifying a lot of things for him to be successful, and their football team, because they got some running backs and they got some receivers, but they got an offensive line that's, if you look at it up front, they're kind of older guys up front. So they kind of gelling what and getting into their own little world now.
Ira, second row on your right.
You've been with this program now for a few years, but this was your first chance on Saturday to be the voice, I guess, on the sideline with the defensive players. Mm-hmm. What did you see from them? How did you feel like they responded to you?
They just went out and played the game. It wasn't a response. It is more of you play the game because you enjoy it. You play the game because you chose to do these things, and it's more of, don't make this a job. Don't make this a situation where you have to like take it to another level, which you do, but not like at all cost. And I just told them, hey, don't let the negative plays control you. You control the negative plays. So if something happened negative in the game, control it. Early in the game, Earl got a roughing. Could have been a negative situation, usually but they controlled the negative play and we got off the football field. With a 3rd and long play, 3rd and 18, they completed a pass. 2 plays later, we got an interception. So you control the negative play by being positive And those guys did. I think that's how they responded to it.
Ashlyn Barker, when we spoke to him after the game, he said that you gave them some different things to work on when that first week, and he said it took a little bit of time to adjust. You can't probably speak specifically about that, but how receptive were they to learning something new this late in the season?
It's always you're trying to get things done, and it's like, well, we've been doing this for long, so it's a habit. But we had that open week to try to not break the habit, but give them some more tools to use where they can make it easier for them to make plays, easier for them to see certain things. And those, like the little technical things that we did, help those guys out. And it's all about the technical things, how you can help somebody. If somebody, every player on the football field gonna struggle some way, form, or fashion. When that happens, you got to give him something where he can feel relief that I'm getting help and not just I'm alone. Because it's not always about your calls. It's about what the guys can execute and what they can do. And in all my years, somebody struggles, you give him a little help, and then he'll get back on track.
Coach, one particular player, Sean Murphy, who only played 3 games, this was his 3rd game in, and seeing how he performed, see what he brought on. Well, thoughts about his performance?
Sean's been picking it up pretty well. You know, he's been out for most of the season. He's we've been nicked up at that position, but now Sean is getting into a role. We got a rotation at linebacker. Sean's one of the guys. He shows some physicality up front, running, knocking people back, and doing a lot of good things for us. But like anything else, it's really his true time really playing football. So we expect a lot of great things out of him. He's done a great job of coming back, being physical, having fun with it, getting lined up, letting guys lined up. Because when you out, one thing Murph did, he was with us the whole time. And he was in the meeting rooms. He was making the calls verbally, even when he wasn't playing. I say call the strength call. He would say it. All right, what's the check? He would say it. So even though the other guys in the room would say it, Murph put his mind into doing those things.
You personally have been through so many different situations, but this team, a lot of these guys are going through this for the first time, especially having a losing season. How much of the struggles as you've coached these guys have been on the mental side versus the physical side in terms of handling adversity and things like that?
Well, you make football is one of the best things about playing football because you can build character, and there's a lot of situations that you will have to go through in life that can relate to football. It's going to be some tough times where you're going like, whoa, woe is me. And I told them guys, like, this is an opportunity, but you're going to learn from every mistake that you make. And it's going to be some point in time in your life that everything's going to be like bad. And then it's going to be how you're going to fight to get out of it. And the only thing you can do is just keep going and keep pushing the pedal and not let it defeat you. You defeat it. And that's all I talk about all the time. I preach the same things over and over and over so those guys can have an opportunity to get out of what they're doing. Don't look at the negative, always look at the positive. If something always happens negative, it's nothing really negative in life because you can always, like I told guys, if you lose your job once you leave Florida State and you have a job and you get fired, you can always go get another job. But if you dwell on losing your job, what's going to happen? So the opportunity is always going to be there. You just have to respond to it and make the things best for you.
Been a part of this rivalry, obviously the Miami-Florida State rivalry, some of the best rivalries in college football history. Saturday night, what do you expect that environment to do for your team and your players?
It's all going to come down on the football field. I mean, the environment's going to be the environment. It's always the rivalry games, the crowd, the fans, the stands. It's always electrifying and everything else. But you have to do as a player, don't get caught in the verse of getting the stands. All the theatrics, the excitement, the fun, the family's going to be there, everybody. The biggest thing, you have to just concentrate what happens on the football field and don't get into one-on-one battles. That's the one biggest thing that you cannot get into when you have a rivalry game, the one-on-one battles, me against that guy. Because eventually somebody's going to shove, push, and all of a sudden flags going to come off, and then officials have to take control of the game. Play the game with what you normally do and be the best that you can be, but don't get into the one-on-one battles.
What sort of conversations have you had with Coach Norvell about your future, and do you still want to be an on-field coach?
We never talk about that. It's one thing I'll never do. I never talk about any position that I've ever been in. When I was at Florida, when I was at Miami, you have to do your job and just keep it moving. You don't worry about the future, just worry about what's in the present right now. And that's all I've ever talked about was the present. We never talked about, you can talk about all those things, but that ain't me. I mean, When I took over at Florida, the only thing that mattered was trying to get wins. When Hype left Central Florida, I had 2 weeks. I had to keep the guys going. That's all that matters. You don't worry about the outside circumstances. Just do your job and have fun doing it.
Any temptation late in that game to put the older guys back in?
No.
What did it do for the young guys to get those snaps?
No, it's good for the young guys to get their reps and understanding what's going on. Selfishly, a lot of times coaches get involved like, I get a shutout. It's all about the kids playing and opportunities for them to get opportunities to play the game. And I've never been that type of person, never been that way. You can lose a shutout, oh well, you lost a shutout. But you give some other guys experience, and then sometimes if you play kids late that are veterans sometimes, and then all of a sudden you up by 30, up by 40, and then a veteran get hurt. Now how you gonna feel? You can't get into those things. You just got to keep going and keep it moving.
Anything else for Ray? Let's go one more for Ira here.
Just because we haven't talked to you that much, the college football's changed so much. We've talked so much about how much it's changed with the NIL and the transfer portal and all that. I was just curious your perspective. You've been in the game so long, seen it as a player and as a coach at different schools. Is it different now in terms of the kids and game day? Is it any different?
It's different. It's different from the standpoint of you got to make sure that you get the right type of kids that want to win games. The money's the money, but you got to have somebody that's going to come in that is going to treat now it's work. This is not coming to play football. This is not to go to practice. This is work now because whatever it is with the money, it is a job now. It is a work. And you have to show up every day to perform at a high level. You got to show up every day on game day at a high level. If you nicked, you injured, you have to go in there 3 times a week, 3 times a day. If you in the weight room, get extra weight room work. It's your body that you have to be involved in. And I think that's the one thing that I don't think the young guys understand. The real good ones, the ones who made that transition, because they treat it as a work. They treat it as a job. They don't treat it as, oh, I'm just going to practice. Oh, I'm just going to have fun. It's having fun, but you treat it as a job. And a lot of times those are the most successful guys that you will see. And you got to find those guys in the portal. You got to find those guys in high school that understand when you get in these type of situations now, it is a job. But you have to do your job and not make it a practice or make it just, oh, I can miss weights today. Those things don't happen. Because if in the real world you have a job, you're going to get fined. And if you do it too much, you're going to get cut in NFL or you're going to get fired. So those are things that they got to understand.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, see you guys later. Thank you, guys.
Hey, JP, a game like Saturday, after what you guys have been through, what do you think that could do for this team just to have just a good outcome and a lot of positive plays?
Well, I think the guys, they played hard and they were excited about the opportunity to go play. And, we kind of had that mentality that we're going to, after the bye week, we're going to wipe the slate clean a little bit. And it just looked like they were out there having fun.
And obviously that was a team that we should beat, right? But I think they're having fun going out there competing and playing together. And I even enjoyed the aspect of when the young guys got in late in the game. Like the older guys were really encouraging to those players. So there's a lot of positive that can be taken away from that game. But it's just another step. Trying to get us to be the best we can be going into this week.
Speaking of guys having fun, the reaction the team had to Willie Suarez's first play on special teams, and then for him to come up with the second one, the forced fumble.
It was, that was a really special moment, and to me, when you have good special teams, right, and it's everywhere I've ever been, you have those glue guys that are really important to the culture, the toughness, the effort that it takes to be successful on it. And you look at like a Donnie Hebert or a A.J. Cottrell, those two guys, both guys who walked on the program, but their major contributions come through special teams. And really all they need is an opportunity. And Willie has last 5 or 6 weeks, just done a great job in practice. And, it was a matter of us just trying to find the right opportunity and the right time for him to get on the field. And it was the right time and right opportunity, and he made the most of it. And those are the stories that you love because you're looking for things that you can build on as we move forward, not just in the next week, but as we enter the 2025 season.
It'll be the last game for both Ryan and Alex. The growth those guys have had since they first got here, your relationship with them, can you just, reflect on your time with them and their time here?
Well, for both of them, it's a little bit unique from the standpoint that very rarely do you get to coach guys that play for 5 years. And the COVID situation obviously gave us that opportunity to have an extra year. But, their growth, their maturity, their selflessness, both of them came to me throughout the course of the game and wanted their backup to be able to get in the game. That's not something that you see all the time. And, I think they're two of the best in the country, and I hope they are able to get the national recognition that they deserve because I think they are the best place kicker and the best punter in the country. Sometimes that always doesn't happen for teams that aren't having a lot of success, but I do think both of them have put themselves in a position where their legacy here at Florida State is going to be tremendous, and they're going to have an opportunity to play at the next level.
When you look at the Florida offense since the Lagway kid has come in, his numbers aren't incredible. What has he given them? What kind of spark or what has he added to that offense that's made them seemingly a bit better than it's been?
Sure. Until we started watching the film, I didn't realize really how good that I think he's going to be. He's a really good player. He throws the ball well. Obviously has some mobility in his game. He can run both quarterback design runs, but also get himself out of trouble. In the passing game. I think really in the last couple of weeks they've just done they've played really good complementary football. They've played good defense, they've played good special teams, and they've done enough on offense. Haven't really turned the ball over a ton, and they're playing well. So it's going to be a challenge for us, but it's one that throughout the records. Our guys are going to be excited for their last opportunity here at home, and we're going to take our best shot.
Coach Janet was talking about their run game and their offensive line, and obviously they got some real physical backs as well. Is this in those situations? Do you just put on the film for the players and they understand the challenge, or do you have to tell them like, guys, this is a real physical offense?
I think it's both. They see it. We have a lot of veteran players up front on the defensive line, so they know what it looks like when it looks one way or the other. So we did start watching the film yesterday with them, and they saw that they do some really good things up front. We're going to have to do some things to offset their strengths, which is what we're working on today. And it's going to start with stopping the run. They're a team that's going to run the ball 35 to 40 times in a game. And, that's a high number in modern college football. And we're going to have to do a really good job of stopping the run and forcing them into throw situations on third down. And then on third down, get off the field. That's going to be our key to success. I think our guys understand what that's going to look like.
you about this a few weeks ago when you talked about when the season isn't going maybe as planned for some individual guys. It's doing the best they can to serve themselves for their future, but also to help the team out. A guy like Pat, I'm sure he had sky-high expectations for his future coming into the season. Where do you think his head's at? How will you and Coach Norvell kind of advise him, and where do you think he's leaning at right now for his future?
Well, I told Pat a couple weeks ago, let's just try to enjoy the most you can these last 3 weeks of the season. And, we'll talk about whatever future decisions you're going to make starting this Sunday moving forward. I didn't want to cloud his head, any discussions with things that are hypotheticals at this point. I'm sure he is a little bit disappointed in terms of how his last year or this year has played out for him, because he was intending on this being his last year. We'll find out what all that is here in the next week to 10 days. But I know this: he wants to go out and have his very best game this Saturday night, and that's all I want for him too.
Anything else for JP? Okay. Thanks, Evan.
Thank you, guys.